Welcome back to Tiny TV. With me today is one of my favorite bands coming out of the UK, Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes.
1, 2, 3, 4!
I have with me Frank Carter and Dean Richardson. Say hi to the world, guys.
Hello, everybody.
I know you guys very much as a live band. So I'm curious to know, because I've actually been thinking a lot about you throughout this year. Not that I know you personally, but I've seen you live so many times and we've met doing interviews over the years. And I'm very curious, how has it been for you not being able to do what I think you love the most, being on a stage, doing one of your performances?
Yeah, it's been incredibly, it's been tough. It's been really, really tough. I think it's definitely taken a toll on our mental health, on the mental health of our crew, our band. You know, it's definitely, it's been a struggle. With that said, we went into the pandemic, the lockdown, having just played the biggest shows of our life. You know, we sold out Alexandra Palace in London, which is 10,000 people. Yeah, it was, man, it was crazy. And that, having that moment as your last moment of live music was very important for us. Yeah, I think we would have had a very different year had we not been able to get
if that show was our next show, I'm not sure how it could have felt like 15 years of it's felt long enough as it is. But yeah, no, it's been really, really, we're really lucky. We had also planned to have a couple of months off. Obviously that's turned into more. I think you said before, this is the longest we've ever had off touring since we started touring separately and together. Yeah. So yeah, it's been challenging. I think there's been some good to be taken from it, but a lot of challenges just when you're used to jumping in a kind of bus and touring. It's a different life.
I see Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes as a very physical band. You always have a way to touch your audience, not only with your music, but also, well, physically. You jump down into the crowd, you do stage dives, etc. How will it be for you when you can start touring again? I mean, right now, at least in Denmark, there are restrictions where you have to wear a mask, you have to sit down at the indoor venues, and you have to keep your distance, etc. I mean, are you even going to tour in an environment like that?
No. I can imagine that it would be, the tension would be palpable. You would be literally seconds away from a riot throughout that whole gig. So I think that would be a dangerous environment to put either us or our fans into. I think we could definitely go and play an acoustic show and bring some of the emotional power that we have, and we could connect with people on a different level. That's kind of, we've talked about that in depth as being an option that we have that we've never really utilized to do a tour and continue touring. But I think, to be honest with you, Anders, we're going to wait until it lifts, until there is such a time where doing a front flip off the stage into a pile of people is 100% allowed. And I promise you, that's the fucking first thing I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Your new single, My Town, features Joe Talbot of the amazing band Idols.
You let your dog shit on the street. You kick the roses with your feet. You punched each other in the teeth.
And I'm a bit curious, how did this collaboration come about? Did you just knock on his door and say, "Hey Joe, do you want to be on my song?"
Pretty much. Like,
he's my mate. How cool is that? I've got great friends, man. Like,
It's pretty rad.
I just called him and said, "Look, we've got this song," and we were talking about who might be good on it. And Dino said, "Man, fucking, what about Joe?" And the minute Dean said that, I was texting him like, "Bro, we've got this song," and Dean just mentioned that you would sound great on it, and I can't unhear it now. That's all I can hear is you just spitting over it.
So he came down to. We were recording in East London at the time, in Dalston, was it?
Yeah.
And so he just came down for a day. Did you tattoo him first or after? I don't know which one. What was our priority? Music or tattoos?
He came down. We got the takes, and then Joe and I went round to my tattoo shop and I gave him some tattoos.
I think that's kind of like thing for us is like the collaborations need to be in the same spirit that we're making music, which is not like we don't overthink things. We do it on instinct and stuff. So Joe just came in and our thing is, what did you say? You basically just said go more unhinged. That's about as much direction as we give collaborators, because if you're going to get someone in, you want them to do their thing. That's the whole point. Like, bring something that you do to it.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say Joe did his thing.
He did his part and then some.
So great.
You drink until you all fall down. You piss all over sacred ground. You hate yourselves and you hate me.
One thing about using Joe Talbot from Idols on the new single that I really love is that, well, I love Idols and I love what's been happening to the British punk rock scene in the last 5 or 10 years. And I'm a bit curious because I grew up in the 90s and started listening to all the cool old bands from Britain. Your Clash, Damned, Pistols, all of those. And I've been looking around in my entire life for the next big British thing to come out of punk rock, at least. In the 90s, I looked to the US, Green Day, Offspring, NoFX, all those things. And it was dominated in the UK by Britpop. But within the last 5 years, I've seen things like Idols, Fontaines, and seen from a Danish perspective, it's just an explosion of British punk rock with such a high quality. In your own words, what has happened with the British punk scene in the last 5 to 10 years?
I think we got bored of listening to American punk rock.
My answer was going to be, I don't know if it's right, but I'm like, we're also 12 years into a conservative government. Like,
that.
I don't know how long.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be unrelated, but it's like that's the longest run we've had of right-wing politics in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So the period, interestingly, if you want to go the political route, the period where you look to the US is when we had a left-wing government for that entire 10 years. So like, I do think that's the thing with punk. It's always holding the hands of politics, and I think it has something to say for that.
I think his answer is a lot more concise, better, and truer statement than mine.
You don't know why. You never talk about what's deep inside. My town, it looks like yours. We have those tears behind closed doors. Never talk about our fear. Don't know why we're living in my town.
So, if I could just get you to answer like the new single, My Town, what is it actually about? I know you wrote the lyrics, Frank. What is in this song for you guys?
It's a metaphor, you know, and it's I use the metaphor of a town as being able to describe witnessing someone's mental health breakdown. You know, we see it around us before we see it in ourselves. So as we're walking through the streets and you see broken windows, you see rubbish on the floor, like, you understand that collectively that place is in disrepair. And I think for me, I was trying to make a statement to say that we really all need to be checking in on each other. Like, if we all look after each other first, like, you need to be always checking on your friends. Like, it's easy to look at something and see the problems and then forget to look in the mirror and check in on yourself. So My Town is just, it's a metaphor for the collective mental health of an entire nation, a world that's going through like the same trauma, you know? That's
a lot to carry on your shoulders, writing a song about the collective breakdown of the world, man.
It's not, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it didn't feel like a heavy weight. I think if anything, we're all pressed to the floor right now. And My Town just gave me the power to do one press up. Do you know what I mean? Like that's it. Like, I'm not trying to do shoulder taps or anything, but I got into a plank and I held it for a minute. Like, for us, it's a case of we've never been shy to take that weight on. It doesn't feel like a burden to us because we're already in it. You know, and if anything, of all the things that we have, wide shoulders is one of them, man. We can, you know, yeah. We're like a little ox.
I love that. Seeing you here on my screen in front of me, I feel like so much reaching out through the screen and grabbing you guys, because of the many great live shows I've seen with you. And it makes me realize how much I miss it, how much I miss the pulse of a sweaty club at a rock and roll gig. What have you missed the most in this year? Because I've been speaking to a lot of musicians that also said like, oh man, it was nice just to have a little break off the road, spend time with family. But what have you been missing out on?
Getting sticky. That's the thing I miss the most. Is like that's the first thing that's sort of taken away from us, is like the chance to just go and get sticky with a group of strangers, your best mates. It's not even about like the gig necessarily, but like, the alcohol soaked carpets, sticky floors, sweat dripping off the ceiling. Like all of that seems like so fucking far away from a world that anyone would want to occupy right now. It just feels dangerous.
It feels weird for us just to be in one place for so long as well. Like you say, it's not just the gig for me. It's like I'm just not used to just seeing my house and then where I'm working every day. Like, which obviously is with privilege of people who tour, but I'd sense people that tour maybe do it because they need to be on the move a bit, and all our crew are the same. They're at home and they're all a little bit like, I think just being on the move and seeing different parts of the world and different people, and then obviously the show.
Frank, you just said that, more or less that doing concerts right now because of the pandemic, it's a dangerous thing. And it made me realize some months back that the music that I love, the way that I love going to concerts, is actually really dangerous right now. Like for real. We've been talking about for years how dangerous is a circle pit, how dangerous is a stage dive, all these things. But now suddenly all the music that I love, it is dangerous. And I can't help but wonder, in the various punk rock scenes around the world, especially in the big cities, where you used to have this like burst of energy in the small clubs every weekend or perhaps every other day, is there perhaps some frustration and energy stored up, bottled up, that when all this is over, punk rock will once again rule the world because everybody will be like, bah, I need this to go out?
You're bang on.
I think so.
You're literally looking at two incendiary devices with their fuses pulled. We're just counting down, man. We're just ready. We're ready to explode. Like, we just need, and it's almost like we don't even need to be told like, okay, now's your chance. Like at some point soon, we're gonna take that opportunity and we're just gonna go.
I remember someone said to me, just like a friend was just like, "Oh, are you worried about people being nervous about going back to shows?" And I'm not. I think the moment people are like, over here, a few festivals started going on sale and they're selling out in seconds. Like all people that like going to gigs are immediately going to go back, and I think it's going to be insane. I think it's going to be like no other time in our lives will we play shows like that. Like there's going to be this united pent up energy. There's not going to be people who are nervous to get sticky in a crowd.
If you look at it historically, yeah, the last time something like this happened properly was 1918 with the Spanish flu, yeah, and right after that came
the best mosh pits in history.
Yeah, Gatsby in the circle pit. Like, you've got the roaring 20s. That's what happened. This explosion of life and joy and living, and that is what we're about to experience. So for anyone that's like struggling, all my friends that are really struggling and they're finding it hard to like find the balance, I keep reminding them, as I remind myself every day, that while we're in this and there's this, the energy has been frozen. Yeah, that doesn't go anywhere. Those atoms have just stopped moving, but they still exist. Like, and all it's going to take is a little bit of movement, and then it's going to fucking go. We're earning something right now that none of us can appreciate because we don't have the perspective. It's like we're too close to the problem. Yeah. So all I would say to people is like, feel your fucking feelings. They're all valid. Like when you're having a bad day, recognize that it is just one bad day. And even if you have a year of bad days, like I fucking promise you, when we get this shit back, it's going to exist on a level that it has never existed before. And that's like the whole thing that's keeping me going, is that we're about to get live music back in a way that we've never had it, and we're going to have it back in a way where we've never been able to appreciate it because we always had it. Once you can only really, it's that age-old adage, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. We all fucking know what was gone now. So when we get it back, bro, fucking hell.
Oh,
I can't wait.
You really got me there, man. That's yeah.
It's tough though.
It is. But I mean, everything you said there is just point on what it has been like in this 1 year for me. Put that into a song, will you?
I've put it into an album. It's coming. I promise. It's coming.
Oh, fuck. Great. Now I'm all lost for words. Where do I go now? No, but I would like to know.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying though. Music is your life, you know?
Yeah.
It's our life as well. And we sit here and we talk, us three people, about what music means to us. And the people that watch your show, the people that listen to our records, they all feel the same, if not worse than we feel now, because a lot of them, they come to us, they come to you to listen, to hear, to talk, to learn. They come to us to see, to feel, because they don't have the words, they don't have the ability to like do the things that we do. So for them, it's been taken away, and where do they go? You set up a show so you could still communicate, you could still find the way to talk. We wrote another fucking album in a way that we've never written an album before, in that we wrote 30 fucking songs. So we've been able to really pick the fucking best.
You're saying all about the fans that they've got nowhere to put
exactly.
it.
Yeah. And so there is like, you think that there's energy frozen between us? Imagine about them. They're fucking champing at the bit, bro.
They're just buying every ticket that goes on sale.
Yeah, literally. Like you talk about punk rock ruling the world, man. It always has. Punk rock is the muse. Rock and roll is the muse. Like anytime any genre is a bit stuck, they look to rock and roll.
The leather jackets come out, the spike.
Yeah.
Fucking backbeat. They get a snare drum and they set it on fire. Like that is about to come. Bro, imagine the Roaring 20s, but rock and roll. Fuck me. Like, we're about to have a fucking decade-long party after this. I can't wait.
So I guess that also you guys, you won't be doing any touring when there's a lot of restrictions and you have to put a mask on and sit down at the venues with a lot of distance. When you come out, you're going to come out as the good old Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, Mosh-pit style, stage divings, etc.
I think we there's something special about our shows, and I think we have to respect that and do it properly. I mean, we talked about doing acoustic things or other things where we can still have that sort of shared spirit and energy, but what people recognise as a sort of normal Rattlesnake show has to, when we play it again, has to be that, I think.
We're a hurricane, bro. You know, we're a typhoon. We're a tsunami.
Can't put
we're
a
not
mask on a typhoon.
We ain't a rainstorm. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not a black cloud. We're a force of nature. Like, we're only gonna come to you when we can rage. That's it. No
umbrellas, no raincoats.
Bro, all that's gone. All that's gone. You come and see us, you're getting fucking wet. Like, it's gonna happen.
A hurricane of love. That's what it's gonna be. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me here on Tiny TV. It has, as always, been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to see what the future brings. And I know that one of the first things that I'm going to check into is a Frank Carter and the Rattlesnake show, because I need that boost, and I've been promising myself I'm going to go to punk rock shows once restrictions are lifted, because I can't do the half thing. I can't sit down and clap politely and say, yeah, I love your wah pedal and your distortion. No. It's going to have to be a mosh pit, and it's going to have to be you guys to give that to me. So thank you very much for joining me here.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having us, as always.